Hello, I am the many-talented Mr. Jefferson, and I just got my hands on Star Trek Pinball. A lot of tables were just released for Pinball FX, but the one I was most excited for was the Deep Space Nine table, and now it is finally here. I am going to kick this off by stating the very obvious flaw with this table. I call the announcer Kilometers O'Brien because he sure as hell ain't Miles.
I tore my pants!
I tore my pants!
You tore your pants?
Yeah, I tore my pants!
I guess I'm really in trouble now, huh?
It's a really poor imitation of Cole Meany in an Irish accent instead of Scottish. The Cisco voice lines sound like they may have actually been clipped from the show, but they sound a bit different.
This entire operation has been a waste of resources, men, and equipment.
This entire operation has been a waste of resources, men, and equipment.
And it's noticeable to anyone like me who keeps that series playing in the background on repeat. The Kilometers O'Brien voice isn't bad, it's just very obviously not the person that it's supposed to be. I had a bit of a rant written about who they could have cast, but then I watched the last Blockade Pinball podcast interview with the COO of Zen Studios, and now I realize a lot of what happens on the licensing end of things is controlled by the property holder, and it's a lot more complicated than I really imagined. The sound design may be my only real complaint about the game, but having just played the Chucky and the Thing tables on Pinball M, the difference in the quality of the audio design is absolutely staggering. The Next Generation table was made while the Next Generation was still on the air, and the cast recorded audio specifically for the pinball table, and Deep Space Nine doesn't really achieve that level of immersion with its voice acting or music. I have the same minor complaint with the overall sound design of the table. It just doesn't really scream Deep Space Nine the way the sound design of The Next Generation closely mimicked the sounds of the show. I have a feeling that this might be due to some kind of copyright concern regarding streamers. God knows I see quite a few "this video cannot be monetized" notifications anytime I play a game that's based on a TV show or movie like Terminator Resistance, where small sections of the audio match something from the music score. The sound design is just a tiny bit disappointing, but I can at least see some possible justifications for it. Otherwise, I really like this table. The theme of the table seems to be focused on the back half of the series and the Dominion War in particular. There is a faction meter that lets you know how committed the members of the Alliance are. The meter will drain naturally over time, and failing main modes will also damage your alliances, but winning main modes will increase their commitment, hitting the bumpers for Klingons, combo shots for Cardassians, and the spinner for Romulans will raise the corresponding faction's commitment. The higher the percentage, the greater the reward for hitting the related shots. If you manage to start the wizard mode by completing all of the main modes, you will get an additional multi-ball for each alliance member above 80% commitment, allowing for up to a 6-ball multi-ball. When you launch the ball, you pick an alliance member, and if you hit that skill shot ramp, the faction will receive a boost. There is also a hidden ramp behind the upper right flipper that leads back to the launch zone, allowing for you to change the faction you selected if you hit that particular ramp during the skill shot. In the upper left hand corner of the table is a miniature version of Deep Space Nine itself, which hovers and rotates above a circular sinkhole which is behind a wall. Hitting that wall a couple of times will cause it to drop and allow access to the sinkhole, which will start the main modes of this table. Finishing all 4 main modes starts the wizard mode. As per usual, main modes can be completed by shooting the flashing lamps, lanes, or pop-up enemy targets. Some shots have a hurry-up timer which can be failed, but the mode will continue. It just will no longer reward a score for completion. Spelling O'Brien will start a kickback activation hurry-up. If kickbacks are already lit, you will be rewarded an extra ball instead. Spelling out Nerese will increase hurry-up values and timed shots in main modes. The starting value is 1 million and increases every time you spell her name up to a total of 5 million. Spelling Bashir will increase main mode winning scores, which will get further multiplied by your alliance meters. The base value starts at 5 million and can be increased up to 20 million. Spelling Dax allows you to collect all 9 Dax hosts and increase the bonus multipliers up to 10 times. Lighting Odo stacks Odo awards, which can be collected at his bucket sinkhole. The awards vary and include bonus multipliers, holding those multipliers for the next ball, activating kickback or ball save, increasing mode scores, or just instantly awarding a score award, which is increased whenever an inactive target, sinkhole, or saucer shot is made. Spelling Quark in the in and out lanes will stack ball locks needed to start Quark's multi-ball. Spelling Quark again will increase the value of the jackpots from that multi-ball mode. Scoring 10 million during Quark's multi-ball rewards an extra ball. The mode will end when only 1 ball remains. Hitting the Starfleet target several times while no main mode is active will start one of 5 Starfleet assignments, which will initiate a game with a couple of pop-up targets, and completing all 5 missions will award an extra ball. The main modes are recognizable story beats from the show. Call to Arms starts with the Defiant mining the wormhole after the Cardassians joined the Dominion, and carries all the way to the Federation evacuating Deep Space Nine. Rocks and Shoals involves taking a captured Dominion ship behind enemy lines to destroy their cloning facilities, only for the ship to take damage during the attack and crash land. Section 31 is a mission to recover the cure for the disease killing the Founders, which was created by Section 31 in the first place. Mirror Inconvenience has you setting off on a mission to the Gamma Quadrant, but instead you wind up coming out in the Alpha Quadrant and getting attacked by your Klingon allies, because this appears to be the Mirror Universe. The really cool thing about these modes is there are multiple stages to them, and as you advance the mode, they play out the events of multiple episodes of a story arc. The Next Generation Pinball had some really great integration with the events of the show, but that table was nowhere near on the same level that the Deep Space Nine table is in its storytelling. The Wizard mode for this table is the Battle for Cardassia, which is a 3-ball multi-ball by default, but can be up to 6 balls depending on your alliance numbers. During this mode, you're going to rescue civilians, defeat Dominion ships, and defeat Dominion ground forces. Once you have completed all 3 of those tasks, you will have to shoot the remaining balls into the Deep Space Nine sinkhole to convince the Founder to surrender. The table looks fantastic, and I really like all of the table mechanics. The table could be more accurately called Deep Space Nine: The Dominion War, because that's where most of the focus of this table is. But that focus also means that they're showcasing the grand finale of the show. Call to Arms is one of the most significant moments in the show. It's the official start of the Dominion War and cuts off access to the Gamma Quadrant. Rocks and Shoals is a pivotal moment in the war, cutting off the Dominion's ability to replenish its troops in the Alpha Quadrant. Section 31 backed the Changelings into a corner, turning them into a totally ruthless adversary with absolutely nothing left to lose. And the weird outlier is the Mirror Universe mode, which didn't really factor into the Dominion War at all, but did have several episodes dedicated to it throughout the show's run. All of these events lead to the Battle for Cardassia, which takes place during the Cardassian Revolution, which prompted the Dominion to commit genocide in retaliation for the betrayal, and absolutely refusing to relent until Odo offered up the cure to the changeling disease in exchange for an immediate surrender, which marks the end of the Dominion War. This table brilliantly sums up the fantastic story arc of the final seasons of Deep Space Nine, while leaving plenty of room for the possibility for other tables based on the show, like the Quark pinball table that literally everyone I know who watched Deep Space Nine wants to see happen. I love this table despite a somewhat lackluster sound design, and I would highly recommend it. Starting the main modes is as easy as hitting the biggest target on the table in one of the easiest shots on the table. Practice hitting that middle wormhole ramp and you will be able to rock your first fairly impressive score during the call to arms mode, and watching the ships fly around or Cisco firing his phase rifle is just plain cool. I will be back to look at the other 2 tables in this pack, based on a show and movies that I like a lot less than the pinball tables themselves, Discovery and Star Trek Kelvin. I am also working on reviews for Pinball M, and now that I finally destroyed my arch rival Cuddly Dragon's high score on the Dead by Daylight table, I can move on to other tables on that game. My review for Dead by Daylight Pinball is already out. I refused to put it up until I destroyed his score. I want to thank my subscribers, my channel members, my donors, and those freaky deeks who poke that thumbs up button, and a special thanks to some viewers who have gone above and beyond in supporting my channel. I am currently live streaming either Terminator Resistance or banging my head against the final boss in Cult of the Lamb. Wait, neither of those is right. I beat both of those games. I'm currently playing Star Trek Resistance, which might be the best game that nobody's fucking heard about. If it's Friday, I am probably playing 7 Days to Die. Nope. Old script. Ha! We're playing either Valheim or Medieval Dynasty, which are much more enjoyable than 7 Days to Die. Thank God. I call them my clown car. We stream around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Fridays, but I think we just moved to Saturdays for a couple of weeks. But even then, on Fridays, I am still beating my audience severely at Jackbox, which is at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Jackbox is free to play as long as the host owns the game, so feel free to join me. I am the many-talented Mr. Jefferson, and I have a lot of pinball tables to research. My struggles are harder than most. I'll see you again soon. Toodles. During the Kardashian Revolution, which